On the 11th of August, the man who built Project Skyscraper said goodbye, and he meant it. "My role stops here," he wrote. He signed it Archie, and he left. 7 days later, the status page quietly started labeling every one of us with our own prime number. Every dreamer on that map named, except one. One node came up blank, and an operator posted about it on the forum at 6:15 in the evening. 35 minutes later, it was fixed. That is not an automated system running on a timer. That is a person sitting somewhere, still reading a forum he had already said goodbye on, quietly correcting a mistake before anyone could make a puzzle out of it. He told us he was finished. He is still at the desk. GoodGuysFree here, and this is the week Project Skyscraper carried on without its author. So let's get started. Before anything else, thank you to everyone doing the actual work on the Atlas-65 forums and the NMSCord while I have been making videos about it. To Dumptious, Vector Commander, and Ekimo 1920 have helped me directly and intensively, but so have plenty of others. Thank you, all of you. If you are new here, this whole story is a series now, every episode in order, in a playlist linked in the description so you can go back and see where this started. Last time, the website posted a message with no signature on it on the 10th anniversary of No Man's Sky, and I asked whether this was goodbye. That is where we pick up. The 11th of August. A new thread appears on the forum, and it is not from the website. It is from the architect, the person who has been running this thing since March. He writes it in French first, then in English. He thanks the operators for what he calls their unshakable will to help system. He thanks the people who kept the fragile thread to the past alive. And he writes one line about the machine at the center of all of this that I have not been able to stop thinking about. System had a little of Arnaud and Emily in it. Today, it has a great deal of you. Then the part that actually matters. He says his role stops here. He says the archive is intended to remain for 1 year. He says that over the coming days and weeks, the website will change, becoming a guest book accessible to everyone, and that the memories people share will keep being added. And he asks the 137 primes to spread the word, so other people can share memories too. He signs it Archie. And then there is a postscript. I think it is time I finally bought this game. It looks pretty cool. I want to be careful here because that sounds like a joke, and I'm reading something into it. The plain reading is that the person who spent 5 months building an alternate reality game about No Man's Sky does not own No Man's Sky. Seems implausible. Maybe he was just making fun of us. We deserve that for thinking everything was a puzzle. Over the next 3 days, about 50 people answered, in English, in French, in Spanish. A lot of them signed off with their prime number instead of their name. I'm not going to read you 50 thank you notes, but one of them stopped me. An operator wrote that a friend of his loved this community and wanted to mean something to it and then passed away. So he built a memorial on a planet called Tucson, and for 2 years that memorial stood there on its own. His words, "Now there are others." That is what this ARG actually did. It is not the puzzles. 137 people were given a star system each and told to go and make something there. And a memorial that stood alone for 2 years has neighbors now. And then it went quiet, and nobody could tell what that meant. People who had emailed asking for a prime number stopped getting replies. One operator had sent requests on the 6th of August and again on the 9th, and heard nothing at all. She had read on the forum that a reply usually came within a couple of days, so by the time she posted about it, she had been waiting a lot longer than she expected to. Someone else asked, plainly, whether it was simply too late now. On the forum, you can watch people trying to work out which kind of ending this was. One said it feels wrapped up, and pointed out something I thought was sharp. At no point did this project ever try to trick anyone into handing over their mailing address. Another argued it is a pause, not an ending, and compared it to Waking Titan, which never really officially ended either. Meanwhile, the restoration counter did something strange. It went up to 322, and then it came straight back down to 321. "We are losing memory blocks," the bot said. Somebody asked whether memories were disappearing again. Nobody had an answer. I still don't have one. If you know what that was, tell me in the comments because I have been staring at it. Then the small things started. The page called Flow changed. Where it had been one word, It now leads with another one, remembering. And on the 18th, the status page, the one with the network of dots that has been sitting there for months looking like decoration, started labeling every node with a prime number. Your prime number. People went and found their own dot. That is when the blank one turned up. One node on the map with no label on it. You know what happened next because I opened with it. 35 minutes, and the operators drew exactly the right conclusion from the speed of it. If a gap in a puzzle gets patched in half an hour, it was never a puzzle. It was a bug. Somebody was reading and somebody was embarrassed, which tells you something the goodbye letter did not. He said his role stops here. He did not say he had gone. The 21st of August. The site is rebuilt. It is a scrapbook now. Newest memory at the top, all the older ones underneath, and a row of doors along the top of the page. Explore memories, a random picker, the shared dream, add a memory, and one that says get a prime. There's also a door labeled the 137 primes. It goes to that status page with the network of dots on it. So the site is now telling you outright what that map has been all along. It is us. The official accounts announced it the same morning. Site has been updated. Explore the memories shared. Somebody on the forum asked whether this was the end of Chapter 1 and got the cleanest answer anyone has given to that question yet. The narrative is over. The site becoming a memorial is not. Here's the detail I keep coming back to. That page says 61 memories are in the database. 61 after 5 months and hundreds of submissions and a whole community sending in the things they remember about this game. They are not gone. They are just not showing yet because the new page only displays a memory once it had been tagged. And according to one operator who has been watching it closely, the tagging is being done by hand, one memory at a time, in order. I want to flag that clearly. That is his read, not a confirmed fact, and I could not verify it independently. But picture it if it is right. Somebody is sitting there, tagging other people's memories one by one, in order, so that they will show up on a page for the next year. It is the slowest and least interesting job in the entire project, and nobody will ever thank them for it. Here's what I cannot tell you. Who? Because the story we were left with says the architect stepped back and system carries on. That is the whole point of the goodbye. So when a blank node gets patched in 35 minutes and memories get tagged by hand overnight, the honest answer is that I do not know whose hands those are. Could be him, quietly. It could be somebody else on a team we have never seen. And in the fiction we have been handed, it is supposed to be the machine. I like that I can't tell. I think that might be deliberate. And then it stopped. The tagging has been frozen since the day after the new site launched. I don't know why either. Now the part I actually wanted to tell you. Remember the operator who emailed on the 6th of August and got nothing? She emailed again on the 9th. Nothing. Then on the 19th, she watched 2 people who had just joined ask for a prime number and get one the same day. So she asked again. 4 requests, still nothing. And then somebody on the forum did the simplest possible thing. She tagged the architect in public on a thread he had already said goodbye on. And she added, joking, that this way, if the approach was wrong, then only she would be taken to the back room for it. The next morning, a reply. Window 12,323, assigned. Her own prime, her own star system, 2 weeks after the ARG was supposed to have finished. Somebody else summed it up in 4 words, no prime left behind. Which brings me to the question I made a whole episode about and still can't answer. One operator put an argument together this week that I found more convincing than any clue hunting I have seen. It goes like this. Whoever is behind this poured serious time and money into it. They are staying regardless of how many people show up. They have committed to a year of follow-up support. And they are anonymous, so they get no credit for any of it. So the only people who benefit are No Man's Sky and the people who play it. His conclusion, and I'm quoting, the basic maths point to very few culprits. I would be a fool if I tried to guess, but that is the sharpest version of the question I have seen anyone write. And while we're on it, there is a page on that website that has been quietly answering this question the whole time, the About page. It has been there since the beginning and the site dates it to the Unix epoch. about 12 seconds after the origin page, which is where the system is supposed to have woken up. So by the site's own reckoning, this page is close to the first thing it ever said. For a long time it asked the question, is this real? Then it answered itself, in Morse code. The Morse spells real, and the operators worked out that it was also a link to a sound file called Self-Introduction Memory Dump, which turned out to be Emily's own recording with a rising heartbeat laid over the top.
Hey guys, my name is Emily. I'm a moderator on the eTalk forum. eTalk stands for...
And then on the 12th of July, it stopped asking and stopped spelling. I am real. That is the whole page. It has said that since July, so it is not this week's news, but somebody tapped that tab this week for the first time and posted it. And the reply underneath is my favorite thing anyone has written on that forum. Nice to meet you, real. I'm not. So the counter still reads 321 out of 365. There is a year on the clock to fill it. The door for getting a prime number is open again, and this time it looks like you can pick your own. And the day after the new site launched, the homepage changed again, which is the whole story of this fortnight, really. Somebody stood up, thanked everybody, said his part is over, and then went straight back to work where he thought nobody was watching. One operator wrote a long essay this week arguing that every story in this game is the same story underneath, the trauma of being forgotten and left, and what any mind goes through when it is alone. I don't know if he's right about the game, but it is a strange thing to say about an ARG whose ending was a man promising to keep the lights on for a year. If you have a memory of this game worth keeping, the page to put it on is in the description. It costs nothing and it is open until next August. If you found this useful, hit like and consider subscribing. GoodGuysFree here, and I'll see you again soon.